Welcome everyone to my very humble channel, and I want to give you an idea of what humility looks like. I'm in a camper where the power is out. I had an electrician deal with the power cords that were getting too hot. Simple fix, who ended up hot wiring the 220 amp to a 30 amp and blew my camper out. And then walked away and said, I don't know. Yeah, I digress. That's getting fixed because I'm a boss. Things go wrong, you just fix them. Let's get into the hormones. Yeah. Carnivore diets, ketogenic diets, and carnivore diets are not going to have you lose weight. Nope. What these diets can do is help with histamine, broken gut wall, inflammation, and hormones when done correctly. Now, the diet alone, a lot of people think they can just cut out the carbs and eat ketogenic or eat a carnivore diet and they're going to get lean and fit and healthy. And sadly, a lot of the opposite happens, like constipation or loose stool or a candida die-off response or an oxalate die-off response or hypoglycemia, and definitely thyroid problems from doing keto or carnivore diets without understanding your existing hormonal issues. You have to know what's going on with your health issues and especially your hormones. We do things without even realizing that we're tanking our hormones, our adrenal hormones, our thyroid hormones, and our reproductive hormones. And how this manifests is in the slightest thing or beginning, which would be feeling tired all the time. This is coming from hypoglycemia. And if you do an all-meat diet, it just gets worse. You feel full and satiated, and you might even lose weight on the scale, but you're developing other issues like hypoglycemia because there's nothing to stabilize your blood sugar. A lot of people are eating protein because they're freaking hungry. They don't eat enough fat because somebody online's like, well, if you eat fat, you're not going to lose weight. So that just shows me right there how naive people are. So the top things that really create a barrier in dropping that belly fat or that visceral fat that is unhealthy, that's suffocating your organs, it's not possible with the diet alone. It's impossible. It's not the diet. You have to know what your existing health is. And something as simple as drinking coffee will jack you up. I want you to take a look at this woman. I keep finding her on Instagram, and she is breaking it down, the ridiculousness of coffee. So check it out.
But I highly recommend, if you are drinking coffee, get off it. Coffee actually just stimulates cortisol. That's what it does. That's why you get that high blood sugar effect when you drink coffee, because it's just raising your stress. It's putting you in sympathetic mode. It is not going to help you to manage your cortisol levels. It is making everything worse. I've had women come in and they drink a pot and a half of coffee a day, and I'm like, what? And they're coming to me with,
Okay, so you have the sympathetic mode and the parasympathetic mode. This means if you're frazzled and falling apart, or are you imbalanced? When you guys have stress, it should bounce up and down, but a very tight range. The problem with modern humans is that the blood sugar is spiking and then dropping, and then the stress is going up and then down, and then go the hormones and the sleep along with that.
with their lab work, and they're 36, 37 years old, and they have no hormones. Like they're
What the frack? Why are women, listen to her, she's spot on. Why are women starting in their 30s? And to be honest, she's just being safe. This starts in the 20s because I get it with young females all the time that have PCOS, that have weight issues, blood sugar issues, period issues, menstrual cycle, infertility, fertility issues all day, every day. People aren't looking at the different things that wreck your hormones. And what this individual is talking about is all about the coffee.
Their hormones are dead. And they're like, yeah, my doctor wants to put me on progesterone and these HRT, and they're like not even 40 yet. And I'm like, you got to get off the coffee, man.
She's right. When you're thinking about coffee as your main a pleasure, right? Your pleasure or your main stimulant to get your day going, people do not understand that you are already stretched with poor sleep and Wi-Fi exposure and chemicals and toxins in the air and poor diet and emotional stress and then histamine stress and gut stress. And then you drink coffee on top of that? Oh no. Bad idea.
Isn't she the bomb? She's so awesome. She reminds me of myself. But with that said, it's not just coffee, because she mentioned that girls are drinking pots of coffee, or rather cups of coffee. People do not know the implications of their adenosine receptors being completely uptaken and crowded with adrenaline. And this is a problem because your body has ebbs and flows. You're trying to reach homeostasis, and you want to put your body into the parasympathetic state of rest. And a lot of you guys are lit with the sympathetic. Lit. When you're drinking coffee, this stuff lasts in your bloodstream, in your body, and stimulating your adrenals to crank out adrenaline and cortisol. And you guys want to use carnivore to heal the gut and to drop weight and fix your inflammation. You can't do that if your blood sugar is destabilized by drinking caffeine. What she is saying I thought was so cool, because it's like women are wrecking their hormones and then taking stimulants. But that's not all. There are other things that wreck your hormones outside of coffee, and that would be under eating, the fasting thing. I realize now fasting is sort of not trending as hardcore as it used to, because so many people started to develop energy crisis with hypoglycemia, dysglycemia of the blood, thyroid issues, and reproductive issues from fasting. What I see with the clients that I work with to date is that people just won't eat enough fat. They just jack up the protein. This affects the hormones because you can't get into ketosis. And then on top of that, you have life stress, and people don't breathe, right? So they just take little breaths, because when you're focusing on a computer, you're not diaphragmatic breathing. You are not releasing tension from the central nervous system. And the body, to be healthy, must be oxygenated. But what happens if you're not getting enough oxygen in it? Or what if your fitness is so poor that you're not getting enough oxygen in because you don't like to work out? This is another reason why people's hormones are tanking, and carnivore diets alone are not going to fix your hormones and your fat gain or weight gain. It's a whole, complete, and absolute earth-shattering lifestyle change. I continue to do consultations where people are still staying up late. They're still in the wrong jobs that don't afford their body to be in ebbs and flows, so you don't have to be lit until you get home from work. And then what happens is people jump in front of the TV to try to relax, and then all that blue light, which is on my eyes right now, and all of that stimulation messes with the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, and you're overfired. The sleep issue is the third critical thing, that if you can't sleep deep enough, it doesn't matter that you conk out real fast and you only wake up once or not at all. It's the quality of that sleep. And you can be in a deep sleep the first half of sleep up to 3, and then be in a light sleep the second half and constantly wanting to sleep longer. Or the inverse, which is you sleep when you finally get to sleep in the morning when you should be waking up, and not sleeping the first half of sleep between 9 and 3 a.m. These are the reasons why people are not having the success on carnivore that they were looking for because that diet's not going to do it. It is going to bed early, following a circadian rhythm, not only with sleep, but the timing of your food and the amount and the quality. There's also making those changes where you can let things go. Most people can't let things go. They have fear, and fear drives their actions. People live in the past. And this is where your cortisol, your body is going down the cortisol pathway, and you are having problems with DHEA. And then you've got all these postmenopausal women on the coffee with their freaking reproductive hormones out of whack and their DHEA low and too much cortisol in the system. Ditch the coffee, go to bed early, do not fast, eat every couple of hours, and learn your body. People don't know what they're capable of doing. I'm 56, going on 57, and when I get this house built, there are so many things new with my body that I want to try that I've never tried before. If you keep doing the same thing, you're not going to get new results. Comment below, tell me if this video content is resonating with what's happening with your life or your inability to drop body fat. And the less you eat, the more the fat won't budge because now your thyroid becomes underactive. Carnivore alone is not going to help you lose weight. That fat weight, it's all about hormones. So if you're not in ketosis and you're eating too much protein, which is allowing your blood sugar to spike and your ketones to drop, and this is what I talk about all the time. I just want to remind you, stop drinking those pots or even cups or even 1 cup of coffee and get your ass to bed. Stop fasting. Eat quality food and eat every 3 hours. And you would be shocked on how the thyroid starts to calm the frack down. And now the hypothalamus is not overlit. Your adrenals are not overlit. And now you can start burning some of that unnecessary body fat that is slathered around your organs. Comment below, share this content. That's how people find me. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I have a course through stephanieperson.com where I cover all 3 diets, including carbs and no carbs and carnivore. And I am soon going to restart working on the challenge. Right now I have no lights, so my camper is a bit of a mess. I will fix it. I still have energy, and I'm grateful that I was able to take a hot shower tonight. I'm very humble when your camper, your home is not working, and you're in a small town and you don't know anyone. And I have no shame. I start calling strangers, and they start helping. So I might have someone here by tomorrow to at least try to troubleshoot what happened when my electrician what is it that he did? He put 220 into 30 amp and blew everything out. I know. And then it's like, sorry, I can't fix it. I don't know what to tell you. But I will not leave it with that. So stay tuned on my epic life of crazy things happening, and I'm out. Peace.